Hello, Facebook friends, and welcome to another Wednesday Whine with Ana Belaval. I'm broadcasting to you live from Chicago, Illinois, where it's sunny, and every meteorologist has told us that tomorrow the bottom will drop. Porque, that's how sweet they are. So enjoy this last sunshine, this last day of 80 degrees, because all hell's going to break loose tomorrow, which is exactly what I needed to hear after the last 2 days that I've had. Listen, I'm going to need this wine big time today. And I need a good whine with an H. Porque, señores, I thought it was Thursday today. That's how hard this week has been. I don't know how you all are doing, and I want to hear from all of you and where you're watching us and what you're drinking and how your week is going, because mine has been tough. So it's El Mes de la Herencia Hispana, Hispanic Heritage Month, where we celebrate our culture. And I'll get into why we need a month on another episode. But we need it because we don't have enough representation, and you can Google it and you'll find out what I'm talking about. But this month, all of us that are in the media or are MCs or reporters or comedians and are Hispanic, we get a lot of gigs and we take advantage of it because it's a time to be with our people, to showcase ourselves and so on. But it's a lot of work and it piles on. Plus, add to that I have 2 little kids that are going to virtual learning or not going anywhere, just doing virtual learning. A husband who helps as much as he can with his limitations, but he helps. And then I try to do it all the right way. Salud para ti, para mí. Because when people ask me, Ana, how do you do it all? How do you have it all? Let's start by the fact that you can't have it all. You're going to be great at one thing and then maybe lacking in another for a day or maybe for a couple of hours. You're going to be a better reporter than you are a mom, but you can't really have it all. I don't know. Maybe my guest today is going to show me how to, because when I read her bio, and wait a second, let me say hello to all of you here. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Brooklyn, New York in the house, Villa Park, Illinois. And of course, the sun is shifting on me, so my pretty corner is now super sunny. But let me tell you about Shayla Rivera. When I read about Shayla Rivera, I was like, bueno, pero yo no estoy haciendo nada con mi vida. I haven't done anything. Esta mujer, I need to listen to her. I looked up her TEDx talk. I looked up her comedy. And when you Google her, you realize that not only is she a comedian and a motivational speaker, she's a rocket scientist, an aerospace engineer who happens to be Puerto Rican, pero so neither here nor there. Fabulous woman who seems to have it all. But what I love is that she commits to what she loves, and she tries to combine all her passions to work for her. So let me bring her in from her home in Texas. Shayla.
Yeah, here I am. Ana, ¿cómo estás? Salud, everyone.
Salud.
What an intro. I like it.
Right before Shayla and I went on, we were chatting. And her conclusion after giving me a great spiel about quantum physics was, hay que beber.
You know, it just solves everything. Un poquito, un traguito, you're okay.
Shayla, how are you doing?
Estoy bien. I'm great. Look, it is what it is, ¿verdad? It's right. Like, está allá afuera. I, a long time ago, stopped trying to control everything. Y dije, no, I'm going to just go with the flow. Now, there's some flows that flow right into the caca hole, which we don't want. So you stay away from those holes or flows. You know what I mean? But, it's hard enough out there. So es un collective. Ahí hay un collective, people. Okay? Don't bring bad stuff to the collective. Would you please laugh a little bit?
There's plenty already.
Yes. I'm good. I am good. I'm doing my best. Lo que necesito, what I need to do, we were talking about this before, is like, I need time for myself so that I can shut up and my throat can heal. But not right now. Right now we're talking.
No, and we're going to try it more with wine.
Ya sabes, this helps un poquito.
You said you go with the flow and you try not to control everything. So you went to college, you studied engineering, right?
Yeah, I did.
Because that's what you loved. You'd like to break down things. And then how does comedy happen? How did you go with that flow?
Okay, that's great. So so I always talk about this. We're all una historia. That's what we are. We're a story, right? You're a story. You have your story, ¿verdad? I have mine. And what we don't do is share stories. So yo nací, crecí en Puerto Rico. I was born and raised over there. Then my parents moved me to Texas.
You made it sound como que te castigaron.
Yes, but they had good intentions. But no, I love it here. Here's the thing. I didn't speak English cuando llegué aquí. I spoke the Puerto Rican, is the door and where's the window.
Pollito chicken.
Yeah, pollito chicken, gallina hen. So the thing is, I had to learn English first from Texans, que they don't talk English. So la cosa es que, it's like I've always been like behind, like outside of, como un fish out of water todo el tiempo. So I've gotten used to that. So I vine para Texas, estudié aerospace engineering, trabajé para la NASA, then I went into sales, y de ahí I went into corporate trainings, motivational speaking, and that's when people said, you should be a comedian. And I'm like, hey, I'm trying to be enlightening, estúpido. So anyway, finally, I tried comedia, and I've been doing comedy, 27 años ya. So we have... Yes, ma'am. We have an HBO special coming out in October.
I know. Wait, because I have a banner for that too. Mira.
Chévere. Mira. Oh my gosh, she's prepared. I love it.
Multifacética.
Pero nada, haciendo comedia y haciendo motivational speaking. Acabé viniendo otra vez a mi universidad y hice una presentación, and somebody said, you should be a professor here. And I'm like, is that even possible? Y nada, I'm now a professor of practice at Texas A&M.
At Texas A&M. No, que si rinkydinkuniversity.com.
No. Nada más. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, woman.
No, I can't. I'm more surprised than anybody else.
Intimidate you, Shayla, because I'm the kind of person who says, yes, pa encima Lola. But then the night before, I can't sleep. I get the imposter syndrome, and all those labels, I get estómago nervioso, claro. I get nausea, I get cold sweats, I call my mom.
But you still show up and do it, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's the point, porque a mí yo estoy igual. I mean, lo que yo hago es que yo soy bien rebelde, right? I'm a rebel.
It sounds like it.
So, well, but so are you. So I think a lot of Hispanics are like that, because it's like, even if we're intimidated, hay que echar para adelante, para atrás ni para coger impulso. We have to show up, fake it until you make it, right? And the thing is, after you do that enough times, you go, all right, well, I can keep doing it. And la cosa es surrender. La cosa es rendir, surrender to your fear, surrender to the whole fear, whatever, but do it. Just do it anyway. Y no vas a saber. You don't know where you're going to end up. You might end up talking to Ana Belaval.
But no, goodness. And now you did this TEDx talk that was fantastic. And I could totally identify, because I didn't know, and this is what's great about starting to get connections globally, that you see how many of us are doing all these awesome things. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how long you've been doing comedy, and that your kids were little when you started doing it, and you started traveling with comedy. Mm-hmm. And that you were like, what am I doing? But then you were liking doing comedy, and you're like, I got to get out there. Tell people how you dealt with that fear and that concern for your kids too, but I got to go do this.
Right. Because it's like this, it was calling me, right? I mean, I loved it. I love to make people laugh. I call it bringing God in the room. And it's not just in comedy, when you can lighten up the atmosphere, you're bringing God in the room. Right? So I got to the point in my comedy career, que it was like decision-making time. You're either going to go on the road and get better, or you're going to not go on the road and just kind of stay here. And the story is that I was coming back I had visited my in-laws at the time. I'm driving home, and I'm like, the whole time, estoy rezando, oh God, what do I do? ¿Qué hago? What should I do? Should I go? Should I not go? Whatever. Y mi hija estaba dormida atrás, y tenía 3 años. She had
3 years old.
3 years old. We got home, we parked. Y cuando pagamos el carro, this is like the silence that we were silent the whole time in the car ride. I was just like, just like going through it.
Yeah.
And she wakes up and says, Mom, God wants you to be a comedian. And I, in that moment said, okay, I'm not going to question it, but it's hard. It's hard, to leave your family, especialmente if you're a Latino woman, tienes tus hijos, you don't want to do that. But I did it, and my kids are like my biggest fans. But I've always like connected to yo rezo como nadie, tú sabes. I just want to know. I want to know. Y la cosa que I think we all have these things in our lives and in our story, but we don't pay attention. Mm-hmm. We just think that, si mi hija hubiese sido, mom, God wants you to be a comedian, y yo hubiese dicho, yeah, right, or whatever, you got to accept these things when they come. That's the hardest thing to do sometimes, So, because we're not taught to do that. Taking risks, ¿qué es eso? No, you don't want to do that. Yes, you do.
I don't remember where I was reading. Oh, it may have been your TEDx talk or a book written by Ruth Bader Ginsburg. One of the two, misma cosa. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, la misma vaina. That someone in her family said, we're just going to make it work. Oh, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's father-in-law, she didn't know if she should go to law school. And what am I going to do when I'm pregnant and my husband? And he said, just get it done.
That's right.
Just get it done. You're going to figure it out.
And that's la cosa, Ana, que we don't know, we get stuck, ¿verdad? En el momento. So we're never in the moment. We're always either remembering something awful or projecting something terrible. So, because that's how we're never in the wherever we're at. So it's about kind of bring it in. Let me be here right now. And if we can learn to do that 2 or 3 times a day, because we're not going to, tenemos tanto gerbils in our head.
Yeah.
Pero you got to train yourself to do that. Because otherwise you're just going to go nuts and you're going to be nutty. Es bien espiritual. Es una cosa que, you got to come to yourself. That's what, you're never alone. But in your head, you might be. Y si está, we only exist up here.
I got to tell you that the voice that I always hear, even though my mom has been 100% supportive of everything I do, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. And I learned to be a wife and a mom through her. So my instinct is, if I'm going to travel for work and my husband doesn't care, he takes care of the 2 kids, no big deal. At the beginning, I would leave all the meals prepared. Nadie me lo pedía. Nobody told me to do that.
The guilt.
The guilt.
Yeah.
And my husband will be like, I can feed them. And I'm like, what if they don't have vegetables? What if you give them pizza every day? And it was my mother who said, so what? You got to accept the help the way it's given to you.
Mira para allá. That's right. And that's it. We are, and I talk about pulgas, ¿verdad? I talk about the circus that when you train a flea for a circus, you got to put them in a jar and not let them jump higher and whatever. And we're just like that. We're kind of like cuando estamos chiquitos, we're put in all these, no, this is what you're supposed to be. Nuestra familia does it this way. And girls are like this and boys are like that. And what happens is we're limitless when we're born. Go see a kid anywhere. They don't know that they should or should not do something. They learn. We learn stress. We learn anxiety. Anxiety doesn't attack. We learn to be limited, we come out limitless. So for me, siempre ha sido just to find the place where I'm comfortable in my own skin. Finally, that's what I want to do. I want to be comfortable in my own skin. Like we were talking about being an imposter. Feeling like an imposter is the worst thing in the world, and I've done it for so long, but not anymore. And when I catch myself feeling that way, porque te ataca. De vez en cuando the imposter kind of sneaks in there, and you feel like that. I go, no. I remember you. Move on. Maybe I'm not the best thing in the world, pero hoy I am here, and I have to handle what I'm doing. Right. Yeah, because we handle things every day.
You said something really cool that your dad told you about the genie.
Yeah. So, so this is what I say. So if you really think about it, we only exist. You can't make anything happen unless you believe that it can happen. So your imagination is really, when you look at the word imagination and you break it down, you can break it into I'm a genie in creation. So when you are a dreamer, I was a dreamer, I'm still a dreamer, you just imagine things, and all of the things that you want and everything. That's how you bring them into your life. That whole secret thing and manifesting and so tiene que ver con eso. It's up here.
But you know how much I've manifested stuff y no me pasa? Well, no,
that's when you go, okay, I need to try again.
Well, Good Morning America hasn't called.
Te digo, it will call. You just have to keep on keeping on. La verdad es que, we give up too fast. We really do. But no pasó. But I got to tell you, it does work.
Do you know what I think it is too? That you think it's going to happen a certain way. I've always tell people when I speak publicly that I was born with a plan A. And when I decided I was going to be a TV reporter, I was 14 years old and I marked the path that I was going to follow. Right. And this is how it's going to happen. And then life took a different, threw me all these curveballs. I ended up exactly with the life I wanted, but the path was completely different. And ahora que estoy hablando contigo, I realized I had to surrender, Shayla. I had to come back to Chicago. I had to live far away from my family. It wasn't going to be, I wasn't going to be, a star at Univision. I wanted to do the crossover in English, but it would be back in Chicago. But I realized later, contra Belaval, but this is exactly what you wanted. And now you're doing comedy. And now you have chances to do these kinds of things to make your dreams come true.
Yeah, you can't discount that. We don't even know what we're asking for is the problem. We don't even know what we're praying for half the time. Lo que nos estamos imaginando. We're usually imagining something bad's going to happen, or this is going to be awful or whatever, and then we forget about it. You do have to believe. You got to believe, Bianca. You're absolutely right. You have to, what happens is we believe for something, entonces la vida says, well, how about this way, or something else happens, and it's so easy to go, okay, well, it's not going to happen, and y se te va el aire, and you don't want that. You need to, when you say to life, this is the way I want to go, life is going to go, all right, well, let me make sure that that's the way you really want to go. So it's going to punch you here and it's going to punch you there, and then you really have to say, no, I'm going to keep going. And when you do that, forget about it. Vas a llegar, because it's the only way it works. It really is. And life punches you. It punches all of us personally in ways that we don't even think about. When I got, and that I got breast cancer, and I was told by that time I had worked on my stress management levels. I know how to breathe. Okay, well, I told the doctor, okay, tell me what I got to do next. And that's it. And the doctor me dijo, did you hear me? I mean, he expected me to fall apart.
Right.
I didn't feel that. I was ready for the battle. Tráela, what do I have to do? So the thing is that I've always been interested in being, si tú me pedías a mí a los 14 años, what do you want in your life in one word? For me, siempre ha sido peace. I wanted peace. I always wanted to be peace here. I wanted to feel good within myself. I always wanted to understand things so that I can explain them to people in a way that they can understand it. But when that's what you want from life is going to go, all right. So when you want to understand something, you have to walk through it. Yeah? You can't really understand. It's like being a mother. Yeah. You don't understand being a mother unless you got children, right? So it's the same thing. So you gotta be willing to, take those lessons here and there. 2 years ago, I came back from a comedy show in Lake Tahoe, and I got home. I had to drive from the airport 2 hours, and I came home, and the whole time I'm feeling that thing, and I get up. I get here at 2:00 in the morning, and I come upstairs and to find the body of my son, who had passed away. I don't know, Anna, maybe an hour earlier, right here in this bed that I'm sitting right now. My 33-year-old son, I lost that night. And I cannot tell you how my heart ripped in two. But I know that out there, some of the people who are listening to us right now have gone through this pain. I realize that it's so important to communicate with each other. To, at the bottom of every suicide, there's a story not shared. And this is what I do. I do motivation. I do inspiration.
Shayla, how do you find motivation after that?
After that, exactly. So it was hard. It was very hard. It's still hard. It's always going to hurt. But when you're looking for the things that you can use these experiences so that you can maybe heal yourself and other people and everything, the thing is, I learned a few things. I learned that the biggest lesson for me is that, I'm a Latino mother, I'm a Puerto Rican mother. I have my son that I adore. I adored my son. Of course, he was my buddy. I knew he had pain. But if he had told me, Mommy, I can't carry this. This is too much for me. Please carry it for me. I would have gone, dámelo. Give it to me. Dame eso and 10 other things. I got this for you. I got you. But I learned that you can't. People, you have to do it for yourself. You can help another. And the best way to help other people is to share your story, number one, and then to be the kind of person that can be trusted with a story. My son had a tremendous story that a lot of people that are in pain don't know, they're ashamed sometimes, and so to find somebody that they can trust is really hard. So become that person that they can trust. We have the biggest problem right now we have in the world is, humanity needs humanity. No nos estamos oyendo. We are not being gracious and compassionate. Tú sabes, we haven't. And the thing is that I don't want to, I don't tell you this to feel, because I want you to feel bad for me or anything like that. I got this. I'll take this pain. And when I die, no te pongas mal, because I'm going to be partying up there with Michael Murphy. But I know that I no longer wait. I don't wait to, if I see somebody que se ve así, and I'm in this university donde hay muchos jovencitos that they kind of feel, I don't waste my time. I go, vente pa acá. What are you doing? What's going on? Boy, are you having a good time? Are you having a hard time? Are you having a rough day? I am, or whatever. And then you become the kind of person they can trust. And if you can help just one person, you're okay. That's all you need to do,
So do you regret that you couldn't be that person for your son?
I was that person for my son in a lot of ways. And I know that what happened with him is he did not commit. He didn't intend to do what he did.
Yeah.
I know that. He was just done with the callousness of people, and especially in the family, you know how it is. So, we all have this power called words, right? Words have so much power. You can build people up. You can tear them down. You can make them angry. You can make them happy. You can make them laugh. You can make them cry. And we don't use the power, and we all have the same power, and we don't care. We do need kindness back. We don't, we think kindness is of the weak, and it's not. It's of the strong. You got to be strong to be kind. And, I really think that, it's like I work with this guy who's a vegan, and you go to lunch with him, and he's like, oh my God, it's people that eat meat, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not a vegan. If you are a vegan, it's fine. I eat cow. Sorry. So la cosa es que, he's like that. So one day I said, dude, isn't it interesting? You care so much about what goes into your mouth, but you don't care about what comes out. La cosa es eso. We don't care. We all have that. We have this power. We have power.
This is what bothers me when people are like, now we can't say anything. But what is it that you want to say? Really, do you really have to make that joke that's kind of racist?
Right.
But why do you want to make fun of somebody? What is it that you want to say that we're taking away from you by telling you to be kind?
Right. Right. Exactly. You can be funny. You can have comedy that comes from a good place. Talk about, you don't have to put people down. You don't have to, it's just like, it's so, well, you got it. I see it. And with the young people that I work with here, parent, their expectations, and you better do this. And, take a deep breath. Number one, mom, calm down. Your child is already studying engineering, which is hard enough. Yeah. Right. At Texas A&M, which is, they got in. Yeah. So why don't you celebrate it? I got parents that call me, man, especialmente latinos, y mi hijo que no quiere, que I don't know, whatever, que no quiere estar ahí, que whatever. I'm like, have you sat down and just talked to them? Just talk. Mm-hmm. Let them be. Maybe they don't want to be here this year. Maybe they can be here next year. Tanta cosa que ahora, y ahora, y ahora. And, we miss out on the time that we can have.
And these kids already put so much pressure into themselves. Mm-hmm. I have a 12-year-old who's constantly anxious and constantly worried. Am I going to get into a good high school? And I go, everybody goes to high school.
Right.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And you're going to go to a high school that you can handle. But
it's not the high school. It's you. It's not where you're at. It's you. Right now, we're all virtual. But kids are kids. But in universidad, if, universities right now can only do so much. Okay. Right. I can only come this far to you.
Yeah.
The rest, you got to meet me. You got to come this way and you got to step up and handle it. Right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're getting some cool comments. I love it.
I know we're getting such good comments because I think that there is this not only taboo, but myth when it comes to the topic of suicide. I think people judge it and people don't understand it. And the more you talk about it, people will understand it.
That's right.
In our family, it's been very close to comfort on my husband's side. So we talk to our kids constantly about it.
Right.
And we seek help.
Right.
And I think that when people like us talk about emotional issues and we talk about mental problems, people go, what, really?
Right.
But it's just like you take an allergy pill for your allergist. It's the allergies. Right. It's that basic. If you're not okay here, the rest of you is not going to be okay.
That's right.
And life throws you these curveballs that if you don't have somebody else helping you through it, oh my goodness.
Right. And you're right that this is being difícil and uncomfortable to talk about suicide. And well, people who commit suicide, oh my God, they did, then they gave up. And that's just not true. That is not true.
That is
the
not
truth
true.
Is we just don't listen to them. These are people who my son was a super sensitive, sweet, loving, caring person. And
when you were raising him, Shayla, were you worried? Because I worry all the time. Because I have a girl who's like all hard. And I worry. I'm looking for clues. I don't want to overwhelm her. Right. I listen and I worry all the time about that.
I feel for you guys right now, the people who are growing up, they're bringing children up right now with all the social media and all of this stuff, because there's so much more influence coming into them that you may not even know about. So, I think what's going to happen is we're going to find again the time for family to get together and have dinner, get together and play Monopoly, get together and catch the stories and tell them, well, let me tell you what it was like for me when I was 14 or whatever, but in a way that makes them want to be. We have to connect again. We have all gone into the different social media platforms. Y estamos perdidos. Everybody está perdido, You need to bring them back. You know, it's true. Just a smile can change a person's attitude. Is so true. There is never, this is a quantum physics principle.
Oh, here we go. Nos va a tirar con la ciencia.
Te voy a tirar el quantum. Déjame tirarte el quantum.
Your mom would be proud that you're using that degree.
Let me tell you something. There isn't a time or a moment where two people cross paths that something isn't exchanged. It doesn't matter if you speak to each other or anything. A look, a smile, your energy. Have you ever walked into a room? You're at a party and you're having a great time, and that person shows up that nobody likes, and that mood just goes like, oh God, right? You are bringing that everywhere you go. You have this stink about you, right? It's either going to be good or bad. You have to be mindful and aware of it. What am I exuding? ¿Apesto bien o apesto mal? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Bring something good to the party.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to decide to do that. That's it. You never know who you might change. A smile, a nice word, a pat on the back. Something, you might save somebody that day. You might save somebody.
Yes. And I think that is more important now than ever, that we're all isolated and controlled by these things. Oh my God, I just watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix. Did you watch it?
Everybody watch it. You should watch it. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. It's
freaking me out. Ahora tengo a my poor kids hartos with the story. You know why they're giving you all those videos on TikTok? Because they control you.
Well, I mean, look, la cosa es que these are things that are supposed to be tools for us to use. Google y todo eso, it started with a good intention, and everything is good, right? And I can keep up with, I mean, right now, after I saw The Social Dilemma, actually, I started crying, because I think it's a good thing that we're finally looking at the ethics of the whole thing. But then I remembered that if I want to, connect with my son, I go to his page. And so I would not want that to go away. It's a sort of, place that I can go and grieve or be with him every once in a while. And it's beautiful. So, but the thing is that these tools are using us now, and we have to have a balance. Everything is a balance.
That's what it is.
Eso es lo que pasa. No hay balance.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And you have to communicate in person, and you have to get people out of that hole. Check in. I've checked in with a lot of my single friends in Chicago that live alone through this thing, because I worry. Yeah. I worry, and the world gets uglier and uglier, and they're by themselves, and they're worried about getting their parents sick or their friends sick. And you need that human contact that tells you, hey, I'm here. If you need to go to my rooftop and breathe fresh air with me 7 feet apart, let's do it.
Exacto. First, a shout out to Tito Estrada Jr., my friend. Anyway, I can't believe that I found him here.
¿Viste?
Viste para allá. No,
mira, this Janine saw the social media thing. Yeah, your son is your guardian angel. I know you know that.
He is. Yeah,
I know you know that. And it's interesting that you say that page brings you comfort.
Yeah, it does. We have to, look, even if we're in COVID, even si no se puede ir a ningún sitio, mira, no ves que las patillas las tengo como Ricardo Montalbán. Las tengo ya, tú sabes, no se puede.
Te van a llegar aquí.
No, y están todas
va a tener barba ya mismo.
Está gris, mira, colorado en gris. Anyway, the point is, even if we can't be together face to face, we can be together like this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see how we can uplift each other?
Yeah.
Even through here. So when you have conversations on Zoom or on Facebook or whatever, bring something good to the conversation. It's up to us. Pero no le hacemos caso a eso. Tenemos que hacer eso más.
What are you enjoying more now? The teaching, the comedy, the motivational speaking?
Well, you know that I love it all. I really do. It's just a matter of anytime that I can be. Ya me he vuelto una persona que I'm very mindful and purposeful and intentional cuando estoy enfrente de cualquier persona.
Yeah.
And, the best thing I can do for most people is just to shut up and listen. But not right now, porque right now estamos hablando con Ana. But, Roberta is saying, make a call, not just a text. Yeah, you can connect. I love it all. I really love it all. For me, it's about, como digo, bringing God in the room is not just for comedians or whatever. It's for everybody. What are you bringing in the room? So yo lo aprecio todo pretty much the same. I love comedy because I love to laugh. I love to, not to make people laugh. I love to laugh myself. Think about it. No importa. It doesn't matter what language we speak. Everybody laughs the same way. We all sound the same in whatever language, ¿verdad? So it's the best language out there is laughter. So I like it all. I do. Como, no sé, you know what? It connects with different parts of me. La profesora, the comedian, the speaker, and all that. I don't see it different, but it does connect differently on me.
Tell me about the special that's dropping October 9th.
Oh my God, there's so much to say about that. So it's coming October 9th, and there's a huge story behind that special. ¿Cuánto tiempo tenemos?
Nena, this is the good thing about this. This is mine.
Eso es tuyo. I love it. So here's, and you're going to see this at the end of this special. I have a moment to outro the special because what happened was that when Michael passed away, when he died, I spent the first year was so hard. And I remember on the anniversary of the first year, me levanté, I was still going on. People might not know that I was feeling whatever because I, was putting on that thing out there. Right. But I woke up and it was almost like I could hear him saying, okay, mommy, yeah, you got to start dreaming again. I stopped dreaming. I stopped wanting anything. I just was going to exist. And I heard him because he always called me a badass. And I would go, I just kind of got this thing where he said, come on, you got to dream again. What do you want? You're not, because I always have written things down or whatever. And I said, okay, fine. And I sat down and I started writing what I wanted. Well, one of the things I wrote was I'm going to do my half-hour HBO special through Edwin Lecona, who's the producer. Nada, I know the things. So I put it away. And a couple of months later, I get a call from Edwin Lecona, who says, Shayla, I'm about to go pitch some HBO specials. Can I give him your name? And I was like, hold on, Edwin. Oh, my gosh. But I had written it down. I knew, right? So I said, yeah, let's do it. So, I come from a year of grieving and all this stuff in my own way. So you're not really a comedian at that time. You know what I mean? It's like, to be a comedian, you got to do it every night. Tienes que, you got to be on that thing. All right. You can't pretend. So yo dije, yeah, I'll be ready. And lo que me pasó fue que now I'm not the same person, right? I mean, I'm somebody who's lost her son and I have different, I'm just a different DNA. And te digo que it was like I couldn't prepare for it. It was like I could, but anyway, llegó la noche, I did it. And I hated it. I because my dream was to do an HBO special. And I'm like, oh my God. So I left it all. I went on the stage. It's pretty good. But to me, it was like the most unpleasant thing. It was awful. I went and found a corner in the theater. It was dark. I said, I hate it. I hope that this never comes out. Anyway, fast forward being a COVID, right? COVID gets here and I go, well, good. Maybe HBO won't put the special out.
Oh, no.
I really didn't want it out. And sure enough, Edwin called.
Oye, you're doing a great job plugging this. Te estás botando.
Bueno, la cosa es que Edwin said, here it comes, pero como hemos estado in COVID now and the climate is about racism and all this stuff, I had some jokes in there that HBO wanted to be really careful. So they edited some things. And in comedy, if you edit a set, it becomes even choppy. So it's good. Yeah. Okay. So, and then he said, so we have about 5 more minutes at the end. Can you just do an outro and say, oh, thank you for sharing the COVID time with me, whatever. But every time I try to do the outro like that, and it just didn't work. So I just kind of came through and I told them, I said, what had happened to me is I felt like, oh my God, after all these years, finally, and here's this awful thing. And then I heard my son again. remind me of something I told him, or I would read to him or tell him, which was Theodore Roosevelt's, Man in the Arena. That it's not the critic that counts. It's the person that actually steps into the arena and through muddied, bloodied and everything, they will give it as just the best they have. And I realized that that's what I had done that night. I stepped on that stage. So I was in the twilight zone, but I showed up and I did it. And I felt better about that. So the outro is about that, about the man in the arena, and how that actually kind of seared the whole gift from my son. It was a gift that he gave me, that he reminded me, you're a badass, Mom. You stepped up there. You did it. So I'm at peace with it. It's really not bad. It's kind of funny.
Te está dando la vaina del impostor de nuevo.
Sí, ya me dio,
Michael's gonna come pull your leg tonight. He's gonna be so mad.
Me va a jalar las patas, ya
I'm glad you understood that, because if you are Latino or Puerto Rican, you know that we threaten each other with messing with you after we move on to the
exactly.
But I like to say that, for somebody who raised a son that was so sensitive and so kind, and that the world failed him and his emotions were way too big for this world, you are making him so proud, Shayla, because you are putting out there what he probably wished would happen to him when he would face the world. Because as parents, we can cradle them and help them, and we know them better than anybody, and you gave him 100%, but you sent him out there, and there's only so much control you have. But now you're doing exactly what he wished someone would have done for him, and from up there, calm, relaxed, and enjoying himself and peaceful.
Thank you.
He's very proud of you.
Thank you. I received that.
I think that we're learning that too now as women.
Yes, that's right. Receive it. In fact, you know what? Here's to not just my son, but everybody's children and everybody's pain and everybody's peace. We can get to peace. Let's help each other get there.
All right. So if you want to find out more information about Shayla Rivera, there is her website, and her special is October 9th on HBO. And go check out her TEDx talk. Te botaste.
Oh, thank you.
Now I get in my car. So this is the problem, that I never wrap these up good, porque siempre tengo otro cuento. I got in my car this morning at 2 a.m. So I'm a news reporter here, and I've always been an anchor, and I don't get opportunities to be an anchor very often. So when they happen, I go. So the last 3 days I've been anchoring at 4 a.m, which means I get up at 2 a.m, leave my house at 3. And of course, catastrophic that I am, I think as soon as the garage door opens, someone's going to jump me. I feel like I'm failing my children because they have to be quiet all night so I can sleep. I feel like I'm asking too much from my husband. Todo eso.
Todo.
And I remembered, besides the genie thing that your father told you, and I remember that you said that when you started traveling for comedy, you looked in your rearview mirror and you saw yourself coming home.
Right. I reversed it in my mind. Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'm going to start seeing myself with the positive end of the story. Because my mother always says, oh my God, you came to visit, but by next Tuesday, you're gone.
Right. Can I be here, please? Indeed. Yeah.
I'm going to be so sad when you leave. Ma, I just got here.
Okay, by God.
And I think this is the opposite.
Yeah, I did. I would, every time when I started traveling for comedy and I was feeling the guilt that you felt, that you're talking about, I remember that every time I backed up in the driveway going to be gone for a couple of weeks, I remember that thinking, instead of seeing me backing up to go, I saw me actually arriving through. That's what I would do. Always project, I'm coming back home. And it always happened. So do that. Project the good. The good will come. And if it doesn't come, at least in the meantime, you're having fun, right? Exacto. I mean, why not?
I really enjoyed this conversation because your way of motivating people is like, and if it doesn't happen, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, if it doesn't happen, whatever happened was supposed to happen.
Was supposed to happen.
That's another quantum principle. There are no coincidences. This is science, folks.
Aquí va la científica.
No hay coincidencias. Lo que pasa es lo que tiene que pasar. So if you were here today connected to Ana and I, you were supposed to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope I can meet you in person one day and give you a hug, a COVID-free hug.
Yes, definitely. It will happen.
Thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Congratulations on the special, October 9th, HBO. Look for Shayla Rivera. Yeah. Have a wonderful evening. Go rest that voice.
I will. Thank you, Ana, and thank you, everybody. You guys have really made my heart feel so good.
Because you really put kindness out there and you brought God into the room. So thank you.
Oh my gosh, you brought it in for me. So
un beso, ciao. So there you have it, guys. Did you notice how that Wednesday wine was amazing? And we learned so much, and we talked about topics we didn't even know that we were going to talk about. And we found a way to smile at the end. And that's what the Wednesday wine is all about. Claro. Y hay que beber, like Shayla said. Just learn that Spanish. That Spanish word. Hay que beber y hay que orar. That means you got to drink and you got to pray. Have a wonderful night. Of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, leave us your comments. And ShaylaRivera.com is where you should go. Thank you so much for joining me and Shayla tonight. And I hope the rest of the week is wonderful for you.